we'll get started here. Saivon, just a kind of a quick thoughts on kind of opening statement for tonight's game and your 3 sacks and leading the Soul Collector defense.
Honestly, I really think we decided to come out with energy and juice, and we know what we was playing for. We knew what we had to come in and do. We've really been harping on the fundamentals all week. Executing bonds, being a more physical team, toughness, executing just together as a team, and I feel like we all came out and played a strong game.
Well, let's start with our virtual contingent here and bring in Steve Helwig from the Hustle Belt. Steve, you got any questions for our student athlete, Saivon Davis?
Yes, just a great defensive performance out there from you guys tonight. Just what was it that clicked with you guys?
Honestly, we knew what to expect on first and second downs, and we knew once we got into a third, that would be our game plan to go and attack and get after them. We just watched a lot of film, so we really just came out and harped on the basics this week.
And what was that intensity you guys brought on the 4th downs this year? Bowling Green didn't convert a single one, 0 of 6 tonight. Just what was the approach on those plays?
Just get home and get back to playing Soul Collective defense.
All right, everyone. We also have Devontez Walker and Tez. Obviously, a nice game for you, and glad to see you're back out in the field making some big plays for us. So, just talk a little bit about that recovery and getting back and having a big day today.
Training staff did a great job all week, helping me get back out there with the team, be able to help the team, and like the other week, coaches trusting me, calling plays, make plays for the family.
Well, Steve, you got any questions for Tez? What we got him here?
Yes, Tez. What was the pregame process like? How'd you feel going into the pregame, and when did you know you'd be able to play today?
I knew after our Thursday, but technically Monday practice, took a couple things to help me feel better. Went through a couple things in practice, felt good in practice, felt good in warm up. So
the 2 touchdowns tonight. What was the connection with Schlee like getting back on the field after last week?
It was me. We've been doing things all week to get our chemistry back again. He gave me a great ball, both those touchdown plays. So that was on him. I give him all credit for that.
And then just how does it feel playing on the offense like this when the defense is clicking at the level it did today?
It feels great to know we have a stout defense that can back us up in moments like that, like they did.
All right, thanks, Steve. Let's keep it on the digital contingent, and we'll go to Ryan Stewart from Black School Radio. Ryan, any questions for our student athletes?
So Devontez, can you just talk about the importance of this game today with your season on the line? How were you guys able to channel this performance?
We did a great job with our mentality, preparation, and it led on to the game today. So
that's it. Thank you.
All right, Jacob from the Kent State. Any questions for our student athletes?
Just talk about what you guys were able to do defensively. I saw a lot of different defensive shifts on the defense line, but not only just the sacks, but getting able to force turnovers and tackles for losses. Just talk about a little bit more about what you guys were able to do.
So we really just tried to come in this game with a lot of movements and just taking our one-on-ones as matchups and really trying to expose them in the areas that we could. Just playing physical and violent, getting off the ball, and just making stuff happen when plays came to our way.
That's it for me.
All right, anybody else from our digital audience? Any questions for our student athletes? All right, we'll go live for our guys here at TV2. Any questions for our student athletes?
Yeah, I'll start. Saivon, obviously 3 sacks, really impressive performance. With a team that's so up and down like Bowling Green, they lost to Eastern Kentucky, but they beat Marshall. Do you guys take any of that into account and how you prepare for them, knowing that they can be more dangerous one week than other?
No, we kind of just take it for what it is. We obviously respect each opponent that we play, but we don't take anybody lightly, and we come in knowing that we got to play our best foot forward, and we just have an attacking mindset.
Yeah, Saivon, just talk about the defense's ability to get to the backfield all night. You had 3 sacks personally, but the rest of the defense they were making life difficult for McDonald and the rest of their offense. Just talk about what you guys did well in the matchup against that offensive line.
Like I said earlier, just getting them the first and second downs, killing the run, stuff like that. We knew what they were going to do. But getting them third, we knew that was our money. So we did a really good job, emphasizing rushing as a unit this week. So getting pressure from all angles, knowing where to hit on the cage and, really putting pressure on him, knowing he would fold.
Saying a whole lot of talk about their defense coming in, tackles for losses and all that. Did the Soul Collectors take that personally tonight? Did you have something to prove?
Absolutely. We my coach personally, Coach Farrell, he put it on our back to, really come in this game and emphasize that we had to be the better defensive line, and we were going to put it on our backs this game, that we were going to own the line of scrimmage all game.
You look like you were a half step ahead of that tackle all night long. Did you pick something up in film this week, or did you guys change the scheme up a little bit to give you that advantage?
No, not really changing the scheme. Just like I said, knowing our one-on-ones and our matchups and watching a lot of film on them, just knowing their tendencies and stuff like that, and just knowing you can beat them with physical attributes and stuff like that.
Come over to Tez. Tez, on that touchdown, that's that long drag that I think you've caught maybe 3 or 4 of those this year. Mm-hmm. That takes a lot of time to develop. How confident are you that when you run that route that there's not anybody around that can cover you?
I'm real confident, especially with the O-line we have, protecting Sleeve. Sleeve giving me a great ball, putting it on the money like that every time. So that gives me the confidence to run every time.
Yeah, you kind of lose your partner in crime, Dante, on the other side tonight, but and the teams can't double up on either side, but you have some guys step up. Deshaun's done a nice job, and we even Keenan out at the wideout tonight. How big was it for them to step in and fill the role?
It's real big. Take some stress off everyone's shoulders. We have more depth at the receiver position. So then a lot of other people that can make things happen.
Colin's been a little bit banged up this year, and he kind of gutted out and had some big runs tonight, big run for a touchdown. How much momentum does the offense get when your quarterback's out there taking hits like that? And
that's real big. I mean, as long as we know he's good, that gives us a lot more juice as well. So.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. Go celebrate and clubbed up.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, everyone. We'll have Coach Sean Lewis here in just a couple of seconds, so please hang tight. Central is now up 31-27. And Buffalo. Yeah. Hi, everybody. Okay. Oh. All right, Coach, we got a little mixed bag, a virtual audience and a live one here for you. So
it's good to.
How about a nice opening statement on what it has to be a feel-good win?
Yeah, I mean, great to get that outcome. I thought, for the first time, all 3 phases played really well. Complimentary football, did a really nice job of coming out, playing physical. We knew it was going to be a physical game, and really thought that we imposed our physical dominance. Was really, really pleased with the way the Soul Collectors ran around. Was very, very active. Had 6 sacks on the night, the one that got negated because of the holding call. But I mean, very, very disrupted up front. All 3 phases really did a nice job. There's obviously things that we need to clean up, but needed to have it. Great to get a road win. And, it's a great shot of life for everyone within the organization, and really proud of the way that everyone played.
Well, let's start here with our virtual audience, and Steve Hell will come to Hustle Belt. Steve, any questions for our head coach?
Hi, Coach. Congrats on the win. How does it feel to have a win where the Soul Collectors really start the tone from the first quarter and never let up throughout the game?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. We talked, really all week about purpose and having a purpose for everything that we were going to do in our preparation and being intentional about the things that we were going to do and to go out and hunt with a purpose. And I thought for 4 quarters, when we took that field, we knew that it was going to be a 4-quarter battle. And we wanted to put together a complete game, and for the Soul Collectors to come out and be dominant early and to sustain that all the way through and to get the final pick 6 to end the game the right way. I thought that was very, very fitting.
Huge addition back to the lineup, getting Dean Clark, who has had over 100 tackles in a season before. How does his return inspire some confidence in that unit?
Yeah, I mean, obviously a kid that's worked incredibly hard, added some value on teams, and then we worked him into the rotation, in the latter half of the game where he was able to get a tackle. So, just really a testament to, he ruptured his Achilles in winter conditioning. To be able to come back from an injury like that this year really speaks to who he is, the character of who he is. And, his leadership in the back end and the game experience that he has, is big time to have back there.
a few missed fourth downs for your offense, but it seemed like you made up for it defensively by holding them to 0 of 6. So what did you see from the fourth down conversions in both teams' perspectives?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, when you hold them to 0 of 6, each one of those is truly a turnover, right? I mean, so able to get the pick 6 and get 6 fourth down stops. In my mind, that's 7 turnovers, and that's a heck of an effort, right? And then as far as our conversion rate, where those things occur, that all of them, generally speaking, we're in the plus 30, plus 35 range, and just, using the analytics that we do and the way that we can play it and the way that our defense was playing it, that's right outside that fringe range of field goals. And you're really not going to net a whole lot if you punt it and you get it backed up there. So it's really advantageous to be aggressive, and we have confidence in our guys offensively, and we're pretty opportunistic to be able to get 2 of those 5. Obviously, we've got some things to clean up so we can get that at a higher clip, but we got to keep ourselves out of those situations. The more concerning number to me and things that we're going to have to dive into is the 3 of 13 on third down. We got to be better there offensively, so we're not putting ourselves in those positions on fourth down.
And the last thing I wanted to ask, mid-November, just 3 years ago, you were in the same position, huge weeknight win, improving from 3 and 6 to 4 and 6. What can you learn from that team in 2019 as you try to continue your push to bowl eligibility?
I mean, I've been here, certain staff members have been here, but in all honesty, Steve, this team's unique and this team's its own team, right? And so they needed to learn the hard lessons that we faced this year. And for us to get this win, the fight and the resolve that the team showed, obviously that's really, really impressive. And now we need to roll our sleeves back up. Obviously take 24 hours to get this win, but a lot of these guys that were on this team right now weren't on that team in 2019, so these guys got to know the importance, the urgency of each one of these moments, and not take them for granted. And again, to have that purpose and to have that intent that they showed tonight, each and every single day through their preparation, so that we can go and put our best foot forward against a really, really good Eastern Michigan team the next opportunity that we get here in a week.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Steve. Well, let's go to Jacob Hansen from the Kent State. Any questions for head coach?
Yeah, Coach. You talk about the defensive line, but what's been impressing me is the secondary as of lately. You've got a guy in McDonough who's only thrown 3 interceptions on the season, and you force an interception today, and that's multiple straight games with interceptions. Just talk about the way the secondary has been playing as of lately.
Yeah, I mean, very aggressive, very opportunistic. I believe the interception came late against their backup quarterback. I don't believe it was McDonald. He does a great job taking care of the ball, putting it, in smart spots. So we were able to take advantage of an opportunity there, and good players and good units are able to do that because of their preparation. And again, I thought the preparation and the work that we put in this week was going to put us in an opportunity to be successful in this evening, in this contest. And our guys were able to show up and they played to their ability. I'm very, very proud of them.
And then you had a slow first quarter, but just talk about what you were able to do to get going in that second quarter, scoring 20 points in that second quarter. Just what changed from the first to the second quarter?
Yeah, just attention to detail, right? Being able to win in certain situations, throwing with a little bit more anticipation, taking advantage of the opportunities that we saw that were presented, and just greater attention to detail, greater focus, especially in that red area. Pleased by the way that we were able to convert 4 or 6 opportunities there. That's been a point of emphasis. Obviously, we haven't been great there, in the past couple of weeks. So just greater attention to detail when we needed it most. We got to sustain that focus, for all 4 quarters because of the talent that we have. We have the ability to do a great job of putting points up each and every single quarter.
And then, Schlee started off a little shaky, but talk about how he was able to recover. It seemed like as the game went on, he got more and more confident with his throwing. Obviously, getting Walker back is important. Just talk about how he was able to stay within himself, knowing his defense has got his back like that.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you got a unit that is playing so well for you and getting the ball back for you, right, it gives you confidence to settle in. We knew coming into this thing that there was a lot of defense that was going to get thrown at us. Coach Leffler and his staff on the defense side of the ball, they're a veteran group. They played a lot of ball games together, and as this year has progressed, they've continued to build their defensive package. So we kind of had to settle into the game, see how the pieces on the board were playing out. And we were able to get some good feedback from what Colin was seeing, what we were seeing up in the box, get everything gelling on the same page so that we could have, kind of that change, that pivot, if you will, at once we settled in and we knew how the game was going to play out.
And then one last one, you talk about picking up your first road win of the season. How's that give you momentum going forward, knowing you got one more home game, one more road game? pushing for bowl eligibility. How's that give you confidence?
It's something that good teams do. They win on the road. You got to win on the road. And for us to accomplish our goals that are still ahead of us, we need to win on the road tonight. We're a really good football team that played like it tonight. We need to continue that going forward. So it's going to give us confidence. It's going to give us conviction. And it's going to give us the ability to know that the next opportunity that we get to go on the road, we can do things that we're capable of.
Thanks, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Last call for our virtual contingent. Question for Coach.
Yeah, I have one. I got a couple actually.
Thanks, Ryan.
So, Coach, is there any update you could give on Cephas for like next week? If you know he's going to be able to play next week, or just take it day by day to see where his status will be for next week?
Yeah, I mean, he was in a great spot tonight. And he was doing a heck of a job battling on the edge, and the ball carrier and just some traffic rolled up on the same, lower extremity that he had hurt. So don't exactly know where it's at right now, but our training room and our medical staff do an unbelievable job working with our young men. And I know Cephas will do an unbelievable job, through his rehab and his recovery, and we'll see where that goes. But he was in a really good spot. Honestly, that's why he got the start. And, and then unfortunately things happen, ball plays happen. And, he was working on the edge, and some traffic, found him. But, he'll wear out the training room, and I know he'll put forth his best effort here in a week to get back out there.
And lastly, talk about like you had mentioned this earlier about the fourth down, like going for it on fourth down. Was that the game plan going into for you guys to be aggressive with your season on the line, or was that just a way a couple missed field goals early? Was that just how the game plan just happened to fall?
No, I mean, we lean on, the analytics of how we make those decisions and where we're at, and, the analytics of where we were at and the way that the game was playing out and the confidence that we have in the D. Again, there's not a whole lot of advantage, right? You're on the fringe. All those would have been, or for the most part, those would have been 50+ yard field goals, which, given the probability of those pretty low. And then, okay, you flip it around. Hey, we're going to go coffin corner. Well, yeah, if that works out, great. If not, some of those end up being a net yardage and change of field position of 14 yards. And when your defense is playing the way that it is, I got confidence in our offense, and I got confidence in our ability, to execute those fourth downs, whether it be run or pass. So we're going to call it to win it. And not necessarily because of the circumstances of, situation of the season, just that's the way that we approach it, and that's the way that we're going to go about it.
Thank you, Coach, and congrats on the win.
Yep, thank you.
Last call for questions from our virtual audience. I will take it live to TV2.
Yeah, Coach, can you just talk about Devontez's performance tonight? He went down with an injury last week, came back tonight. Cephas went out, and he stepped up 2 touchdowns. Just it's been so important to the offense all year, and tonight, and then the breakout game. Just talk about what he was able to do for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, right, battling through the injury and playing through some discomfort. He really leaned into the productive discomfort. We know that we needed him, especially when Cephas went down. So for him to step up and to fight through that, the pain that he was in, and to have the performance that he did, kind of speaks to his character, and is a testament to the ball player that he is.
And then just one more for me. Just talk about, you always say that the game is won in the trenches. Offensive line, defensive line, that I feel like really dominated the front seven. Just talk about what they're able to do, both getting to their quarterback and also protecting ours and setting the run game and pass game.
Yeah, I mean, it was going to be a huge piece in this game, right? I mean, their defensive front coming in was number 2 in the country, only behind Liberty in sacks per game. They were averaging 6 sacks per game, and we kept our kid clean, no sacks all night long, which is an unbelievable job by our kids. And then again, able to rush the ball, shoot for over 200 total yards, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, right? 201 on 41 attempts, which is a great job by, our O-line dictating things up front. And then conversely, right, we knew that we were going to have an opportunity with how many times that they like to throw it to get after their quarterback. And our guys did just that, 5 sacks. Again, they impacted and affected that quarterback, didn't allow him to get comfortable. So again, I know it's cliche and we talk about it all the time, right? Hey, coach, the game's going to be won in the trenches. Yeah, like I'm not very smart. Like we can win a lot of scrimmage on both sides. We're going to have a chance to be okay.
Coach, talk about Saivon's performance today. 3 sacks. I mean, does it give you more confidence in your defense when you got a player that's just on fire like that?
Yeah, I mean, we've known that Saivon's been able to bring that element to the game, ever since we brought him in. And again, he's a kid that has tremendous confidence in himself, bet on himself, earned a scholarship as a walk-on, showed up and, has really been, just a one more step, working edge just a little bit better. He's been so close all year long. It's so great to see his perseverance, his resiliency really show up and get home tonight to lead to those results. And it's a testament to his work and his character as he's gone through this year.
And then one more for me, just Yeah, talk about the next man up mentality of this team. I mean, obviously Ray and Slim go down offensively.
Yeah.
You got Keenan playing wide receiver in the fourth quarter. Your offense is still able to roll. You don't miss a beat. You know, what's the mood in that locker room when someone goes down with the next man up mentality?
So what now? What? Right? Like I feel for those kids. I really, really do. And you don't want to see anyone go down. But at the end of the day, someone goes down. Like, does the end result of the game change? Like what we're after, what the objective is? Like, no. You know, so we're going to make sure that those young people that go down have the care and everything that they need. But everyone knows that, again, I got to be intentional. I got to be purposeful each and every single day because we're going to pour into them and we ask their best on a day-to-day basis because I can't tell you when your moment's going to come, right? Like it's not an open invitation when the opportunity shows up. And our kids do an unbelievable job of embodying our number one core belief of, hey, you know, to improve and compete and to be an alpha each and every single day. And if you do that, then when your number's called and you need to step up, everyone talks about stepping up. Well, you're either going to be trained or you're going to be untrained for when your number's called, right? There is no magical, oh, yeah, I get to play now. I'm going to act like a starter. No, you better be acting like a starter well before you become a starter so that when you get in there, then you can perform like a starter. And again, like our guys know what it is. We know that's late in the season and we know that we're going to need guys to fill in different spots as the season comes along. Our guys are really, really unselfish and it's really, okay, coach, what do you need? What's the program need? And they're able to step up in those roles. And it's really, again, a testament to, I know I've been talking a lot about the character, but the character of this club is really, really strong. And we need to continue to grow that as we go through. And because of all the adversity and the way that we've been tested, man, they're a strong, resilient group that's really pulled together. And I'm excited to have the next 2 weeks with them and to continue to fight and earn the right to have more time with them because they're a special group that I don't want to let go of yet.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
Honestly, Tom, Coach, we talk about balance all the time with that offense. How important was it for you to get Marquez and Brian going early on to slow down that defensive pass rush?
Yeah, we need to keep them off balance, right? And we wanted to utilize, you know, some of the screen and the draw game early, which we were able to do to kind of keep them, you know, just guessing a little bit, but being able to have the run game going and to have that competitive advantage to where we're not just going to be one-sided is always really critically important for how we're going to play it.
I think another key for you tonight was you bring a freshman in that tight end spot, and we know how important that is in your blocking scheme.
Right.
Just talk to us about that freshman stepping up, playing at H-back, that tight end spot against a team that really comes off the ball the way this Bowling Green team does.
Yeah, again, you know, a young man that, you know, has prioritized what he wants in life and graduated early from high school so that he could get here in January and start that training, start that development. And he's been a kid that, you know, has done a great job, excuse me, quietly among special teams. He's played a little bit here and there and gotten game reps and everything. And then again, like, you know, unfortunate what happened with Chris, and we had a fluke injury that happened with Junk during the preparation. And again, now here it is. It's your time. You're going to get a start. And you happen to get a start against a really good edge players in Bowling Green that like to get up the field, that like to be physical. And hey, coach, I'm only a freshman. All right, bud. Well, time to grow up in a hurry, right? You've been playing 9 games of football, and you know at this point in time in the season, he's been playing every single game. He's no longer a freshman. He didn't act like a freshman tonight. I mean, one of the biggest plays that we had, we got the ball out to the edge. He got a pancake block on the alley defender. It was big time. And again, that's a testament to who that young man is, the work that he's put in. It's really, really exciting that he's just a young pup. And he's going to continue to grow in our family and get better and better and better.
I asked Saivon earlier about the soul collectors taking a little personally, all the talk about BG's defense. I'm going to flip that around a little bit. What about Coach OB's boys? They hear a lot of talk about a legitimately good defense, second in the country.
Yeah.
Coach OB's boys look like they took it personally and they were pushing off the ball tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. I mean, it's really, really important. And these guys take pride in their work. Right. And obviously we haven't, last time out, we didn't have a whole lot to be prideful about. And again, guys take that personal, right? Like I think the best to do it, you take it personal, all right, because you put so much skin in the game with it, and they knew that they were going to be challenged. There's a ton of NFL scouts here tonight. It's the beauty of this Maction format to where people are able to show up and they're able to see game, live reps, good on good, really good defensive line. We've got a really good offensive line. Again, that guys that are young, that have grown. I mean, we're starting 2 redshirt freshmen all year long at the tackle positions. They've grown up tremendously. We've been fortunate to have all 5 of those guys play consistently throughout the course of the year, and they answered the bell tonight against a really, really good front. And I mean, did a heck of a job.
One last one for me, Coach. 6:35 to go. You're kind of down in that transition zone where it's 4th down. You kick the field goal fast. Is in your head, is that a little bit of a confidence builder for him? Is that say, I got to show the guy that, we can count on him when we need him.
Yeah, a little bit of that. And then also, if I'm not mistaken, I think that field goal made it a 4-possession game at that point in time, right? So it's both, right? Like, hey, this is a big time kick that's going to make it a 4-possession game. And I trust you and I believe in you and I'm proud of you. Let's go put this thing through the uprights. And he did, right? So it was great for him to respond and also the strategy of it all to make it a 4-possession game because of their style of play. Felt comfortable that then the opponent truly becomes the clock at that point in time. Yep.
Any last questions for Coach? All right, Coach, we'll see you Friday. Congratulations on the big win.
Awesome. Love that. Go Flashes.